Howdy, howdy, welcome to the video. Before we get into it, I just wanted to let you guys know that it is okay to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and comment to let us know what you thought about the video. That's all from me. Enjoy the rest. Yeah, speaking of settling it in the ring, this actually might be a
Right.
really good segue. I saw a video kind of recently where you were bumping around in a real life wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was curious. I didn't understand anything you were saying in the video, unfortunately. But
Come on, man. You don't speak Turkish?
I don't speak Turkish. No,
We're gonna have to
only...
learn so that we can do another interview just in Turkish.
Oh.
That'd go
Wait,
crazy.
that would be awesome.
That'd be
Dude.
Or
sick.
even better, we'll just do a voiceover of this one, and it'll be really off sync.
But yeah, and it'll come out 3 weeks later, just like the old days or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us about you hopping in the ring and like how that came to be and how was it? How did it feel?
It started back in 2019, I would say. I think this was like the break between the semesters for university. So I had about a month of basically nothing to do. And at the time, I was in a city that is different from where my family lives. So it was far away as well. So it was just me. A lot of my friends go back to their hometowns for that 1 month break. I decided not to do that. So it was a lot of alone time. And at that time, I think I was around 20 years old, or I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was really just thinking about what I wanted to do in the future because, I was in the middle of university and that's going to come to an end. I have to decide what I'm going to be. So, I mean, I am skinny right now. I'm working on that, by the way. We'll see.
It's
I'm
all right.
hoping
Hitting the gym.
let's go.
I can do this, so just it's all good, man.
Oh,
Oh, let's go!
I can do this. Yeah,
love it. Solidarity.
How
Exactly.
far? I mean, I can do that, but not over here. I got the opposite problem.
Well, I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna show my tummy on the podcast, but I got a tummy for a skinny dude. I got quite the tummy.
Right.
There's highs and there's lows. Anyways, this isn't Dropkick the tummy. This is Dropkick the commute. Let's hear about.
People gotta pay you for that. Well, basically, I was like, I'm skinny as hell. I was like 55 kilograms. That's like, I don't know how it is, and your guys is.
I'm converting right now. Hang
Yeah,
on.
we need
Okay. I was 55 kilograms.
That's about 120 pounds.
Basically, not even 205, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. He's not even a cruiserweight.
Yeah. I'm also a kid that just grew up in front of a computer screen. Not too much social screen experience or
Yeah.
and all that. So I basically had everything working against me when it comes to becoming a professional wrestler. Especially the most important thing was I was in Turkey. There's no wrestling schools in Turkey, and so I think at one night I was just like having an existential crisis. Like I want to have a goal that I want to do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go crazy. I don't know what I'll do. And so I was in front of the mirror and I said, you know what? I always had this dream in my head, and I mean, I always daydream about like standing in the middle of the ring, winning a championship and stuff like that. Why don't I try it for real? So I said I'm gonna try to become a professional wrestler. And I remember the next day I started going to the gym and doing an actual diet and all that. And also that night, even before the next day happened, I sat in front of my computer and I searched all the wrestling schools in the United Kingdom or in Europe in general, because Turkey is closer to there. It's just like a couple of hour flight, whereas United States is way more difficult, expensive, over 10 hours. So I found WXW in Germany. And at the time, I was a huge fan. I still am a huge fan of Gunter. It was Walter back then. I was like, holy shit. Like, Gunter as a wrestling school is literally one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think it's great. I gotta go here. And the price was pretty decent. It wasn't anything crazy. And they still have 1 month stays. But back then, they would give you a house and like it would have bunk beds, but it would have a kitchen. It was a pretty good deal. And
Yeah.
right now, like you can't do that. You gotta find a house to rent, and, like figure that out
Right.
yourself. So I was
Yeah.
like, I am doing this, and I tried to drag a lot of my friends who were doing who were interesting and who wanted to try to become a professional wrestler as I did, but for many reasons, just life in general, they couldn't come with me. So I went there alone. Oh, one big thing I missed actually is at the time we were doing like amateur professional wrestling shows. I say amateur because it was just a bunch of fans like us going in the ring. I was like on the camera. I was doing commentary. Like it was super risky. We were doing it in boxing rings. As a matter of fact, our last show ended when cops came because someone like reported us.
Oh my
Someone
god.
Oh
anonymous
man.
reported us saying like, "Oh, they're doing illegal fighting, in this gym. They're betting money on it." Obviously, that was not what was going on. So we had to explain to the police officers what was professional wrestling because they had no idea what it was, and it was just weird. But even that amateur shows going into the ring, I remember taking my first bump because I was watching YouTube videos and I learned how to take bumps on my like mattress, the classic
Yeah.
stuff. I took one in a boxing ring and like it winded me for a good 2 minutes, and I hated life. But just being around that also really just pushed me towards trying this out for real. I think, um, like my theory is, I think he himself would have probably said it too on record. This is exactly what happened to someone like Chris Danger, where he was a huge wrestling fan, but he only started to go train for wrestling when DPW came around and when he was actually around like wrestling in the ring, even if it was just doing talking and managerial stuff. Like it's so addicting
Oh my god.
and
Yeah.
you can't get away from it. So yeah, that's why I ended up going to WXW. And it was tough, man. It was just only for 1 month, and at that time I thought wrestling was tough. I knew a lot about it, but when I went there, I just gained a whole other perspective. And however tough I thought it was, it just became 200 times more tougher, like in my eyes, to,
Yeah.
actually be a wrestler. Like, not even forget about going to the WWE, AEW, one of the big promotions, just living the lifestyle. Just like understood exactly what it was about.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I always appreciated the experience. Like, I got to share basically the same house with like uh Seema's, like, how do I put this? Strong Hearts from, I don't remember their promotion in Japan, but like at the time
Right.
they were wrestling in AEW. And I was like, I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Hmm.
So like those guys, the Japanese guys, I don't remember T Hawk and someone else. I think Lindemann, that's his name. They were just
Hmm.
these two really, really buff Japanese guys. They were really polite, and they would just like, I remember seeing them train, and they would do like 1,000 squats to start off their training and stuff. Like I was like, holy,
Crazy.
You're like,
I can
I
barely
Jesus
do
died.
Christ.
5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like they did it with nothing. They wouldn't even get blown up by the end. So
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
dude.
Japanese training is insane anyways. Like they're on a whole nother level.
Right.
But yeah, that was my first thing. I really wanted to see Gunter as well, as I was a big fan, just to learn from him. But at that time, like the expansion into Europe for WWE was just really kicking in. They were getting all the UK guys, and Gunter was one of the people who got in there. So it was just transitioning away from the wrestling school. So I only got to see his booty shorts. Like one training session, he forgot him inside the basically the training place, and that was the
Like, oh my
closest
god, those
I.
are Gunther's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. The reason I didn't see him though was because I was a beginner, complete beginner, and he was doing like giving the advanced classes at the time, so
Hmm.
it was kind of tough for me to catch him there. But the other professors or coaches there they were really good as well, and I learned a lot. And like yeah, I was just really proud of myself the whole time because like I was doing pretty good back bumps, even though I just did it on mattresses and learned it from YouTube videos. I guess I learned them right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
YouTube
like
University.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would I do it again though? Those type of stuff? No, because I broke so many beds. So many
Mm.
beds, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. But that was like my first brush. And then when I went to Canada, um there was this wrestling school called Superkick Wrestling. headed by Chris Chambers, who's been in the business for over 20 years. He's just really good. And what I appreciate about Canadian wrestling is they really do slow down and try to tell a story more than the USA stuff. I'll put it lightly like that. And I really appreciated that because that's the wrestling type of wrestling that I really care about. And in Superkick Wrestling Academy, they really just like train you so freaking hard. You hate life, but once you do training matches, like it's that's nothing basically. Because like before the training matches, they make you take and do like 20 body slams, right? But in an actual match, even if it's a training match, you're just gonna do five, maybe, yeah, at maximum five body slam. So I really love that aspect of just training really, really hard when you're actually training and just dying and not being able to really think about anything else. But because of that, when you get into the matches, you're so comfortable that you can think about your facial expressions or how you want to exactly sell this move and where you want to go. Is the match going too fast? Like, that was really something that was fascinating.
It seems like they really train you hard to get the basics down and like the physical movements, and then that way you can focus on like the psychology of the wrestling and like all the what really makes the meat of wrestling, you know, like the storytelling and stuff, which that's super cool.
Yeah, that's something I really appreciated as well. But I guess to wrap this long story up, I would say I think I trained for a couple of months, maybe 3, 4, and like I was just in so much pain. And there was another guy from Turkey there, Utku. We would call him Uts in short, and he was really good. Like I had a lot of fun doing some training sessions with him as well. We just clicked instantly because we're from the same country. After one of the training sessions, I remember just chatting to him and we were talking about all our troubles. Like I was saying to him, like, oh, I wanted to catch the bus as I always do. So I tried running after it that other night and I just couldn't because I've taken so many body slams that training session that I couldn't do nothing but just walk like an old man. Like, yeah, I needed a cane and like I was in so much pain. And then I was really hard on myself too, actually. Like whenever I didn't sleep at a perfect time, whenever I didn't eat properly, train properly, whenever I mess even something little up, I really beat myself up for that. And really, like that's one of the things that really stopped me from doing training consistently. And what ended up making me give up is, as I was telling this story of pain and suffering to my friend Oots, he kind of just said, "Oh yeah, I just take painkillers and show up the next day. It's cool. Like I'm not too bothered. I can just kind of trudge along and do my thing." And I was like, "I don't think I can do that. Like I just don't think um, I can live this lifestyle. I don't think I can take the pain. It is extremely addicting. It's an incredible feeling. Even just doing training matches where nobody's there to watch you besides your other fellow trainees and your coach. It is the most fun I have ever had in my life. Um, but yeah, just the lifestyle, like looking at it in the future, 10 years ahead. Um, my final decision was like, if I'm not gonna do this properly, I don't want to do it halfway as well.
Yeah.
Because wrestling, more than any other sport, it's so damaging to your body. You don't take body slams and suplexes and catch people for like splashes and all that in any other sport. Like it just damages so much. So if I'm gonna damage my body, I want to make sure that I give it my all. And so
put everything you can into it so it makes damaging yourself worth it rather than
pretty much. That's the perfect way to put it.
That's no joke either too. Like real quick, like I for about a year or two helped with like a local indie wrestling promotion in and around Boston, and I I got to know a lot of the people there. And even just like from my end doing video stuff, I got to kind of see like how, like what goes into it. The moves they're doing look just as painful as they do like 50,000 feet away, like, so, and not only that, but the like financial aspect of it. Like when you see wrestlers on TV, like saying that like they didn't have a penny to their name and like they would get paid like 10-20 bucks, like, that's no joke. Like, I just experienced it firsthand from them, and even like I would leave some of those shows not even getting like paid, and granted, I'm not a wrestler, so when I get paid, it's like, oh, that's very nice, but like you don't have to. But it's like the financial aspect of it and like the dedication and the train, like it's none of it is a joke. So, you know, I feel like wrestling is like a lot more widely accepted now, but even every now and then you'll get people that like just think it's a joke, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, look at the welts on people's backs and the fucking like calluses on their backs from taking just bumps alone, rather than like all the other crazy moves that they're doing. So, it's cool that you got to experience it, and and see how like truly exhausting and like
Oh yeah.
how much energy it takes from you. Like it's no joke, man. Very cool that you got the opportunity to do that. We kind of wanted to we've had a blast getting to know you.